So Hypernova Solar is George Mason University's very own solar car team. What we do is we design, build, test, and compete with fully solar-powered electric vehicles, and then we race them in international competitions against teams from all around the globe.
I am the mechanical team lead, and what our team does is we design all the mechanical components of the car, so the chassis, the frame, the suspension, and all those moving parts, basically anything that's not electrical.
I am the CAD lead and the systems lead, and now we're dealing with all the mechanical issues of the car.
So we designed the battery pack, we designed the CAN protocol, anything that has to do with the solar arrays, the battery pack, or the communication in the car.
People are always working so hard. There's so much interest on the team, and every time we meet on Fridays or whenever we have time, we are always working, sharing about car things, or maybe just to have some fun.
So I see Hypernova Solar really becoming one of the foremost visible solar car teams in not only the entire country but the entire world. I'm hoping to make solar car racing more than just an engineering competition and more of a real world startup in a way.
All right, hey everyone. Thank you for joining me for Hypernova Solar's very first fall virtual meeting. I'm your host and your president, Alex Hughes, and I want to welcome you all back to Hypernova Solar for another great school year. Hopefully you all can hear me. I know we're going to have some quirks, some bugs working out in the stream, so if there's any issues, please let me know in chat or through Zoom. But yeah, hopefully this will go great, and hopefully the stream quality over the next coming weeks just gets better and better. This is going to be a great way of getting everyone on board and excited about working on the team, and also a great way for other people to watch and see what happens on our team. So again, my name's Alex. I know we have some new members and some interested members watching along with this stream. I was president last year, and I will be president again of the solar car team this year. We also have Abigail. You cannot see Abigail, but she is also helping manage the stream. We are nice and socially distant away from each other. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to start with Hello, hello, hello. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. Shout out to Abigail for letting me know of the audio issue. So now you guys can hear me. I'm just going to restart everything I just said. So let's just get right into the presentation. If you all can't hear me still, it says you should be able to hear me, but let Abigail know. She'll tell me separately. Okay, so let's just get right into it. Again, we're going to be talking about what is SolarCar for the new members who are watching along. We're going to be reviewing the progress we made in previous semesters. We're going to go over plans for the fall semester. We're going to talk about updates. We're going to talk about progress that we made over the summer, talk about leadership, and then we'll wrap it all up with a group discussion or a broken down group discussion in Zoom. So, as all the previous members know, we always start our presentations with the regulation of the day. And today's reg of the day is a very interesting one from the American Solar Challenge 2020 regs, reg 12.6.c.3, which I found very amusing, was observer accommodations. So every team has a SolarCar observer who goes along with them. This is like an American Solar Challenge staff member. And it says, observers should be considered a guest of the team for whom the team will supply proper meals, drink, shelter, and amenities afforded to any member of the team or advisor. Which I just think is kind of, I don't know if it's weird or funny that they're telling teams that they have to take care of their faculty member. But, that's the way it is. Up next, we have the application wall of fame. If your name is up on this list, that means you filled out the Hypernova Solar survey that we've been sending around. So thank you to everyone on this list for filling that out. If your name is not on this list, that means you did not fill it out. So make sure you get that application filled out, ideally by the end of the stream. The sooner we could get that information, the better. It's a very short application. We just need to know basically, are you on campus and are you willing to meet in person? So please, please, please get that done as soon as possible. So just talking a little bit about what is SolarCar. I know there's some new members watching, and some of them get confused about what is SolarCar. Obviously, we build solar-powered vehicles, but to the scale at which we do so, I think is misunderstood. SolarCar is all about building full-scale road-legal solar-powered vehicles. Specifically, our team's approach is to design something as realistic as possible. While some teams, like teams you might see on the back wall of this poster here, build very aerodynamic, very over-engineered vehicles to win the race, we try and make a much more realistic approach. We try to design something that you might actually see in the real world and then see in a competition. We take a lot of our cues from University of Waterloo, who you see down in that picture. They also build very nice, realistic cars. Not something that necessarily wins the race, but could win, win in the real world. The competitions we compete in are primarily the American Solar Challenge and the World Solar Challenge. Both are very long-distance endurance races. This was supposed to be the American Solar Challenge 2020 route, which was obviously canceled. But these are extreme long distance races. These are nothing like you see other racing teams at Mason do. We race on highways and we go from state to state, country to country. It's not like you race around a go-kart track for an hour a day like some teams. Won't mention who. But yeah, the competitions obviously are not really happening right now. There's supposedly some scheduled for 2021. But given the current state of things, we have no idea if those are going to happen. So it's realistically looking at 2022 for competition. So looking at some past team history and progress, the SolarCar team was officially created last spring, in the spring of 2019. Since then, we have accomplished a ton. We've raised over $10,000 in support of the team. We're one of the very few organizations at Mason that have our own 501c3 nonprofit, which is awesome, which means we control our own money, not George Mason. When we've recruited dozens, I think we've had over 100 members on the team so far, people that come through and either graduate or go on to other things. So it's awesome how many students we are able to affect here in the area. And not all of them are George Mason students as well. So just talking about some team updates, some things that we've been working on over the summer and currently working on. Just in case you all don't know, We did end up buying one of our first, or one of several major purchases back in March, which was our own team trailer. So we did buy this 20-foot enclosed trailer. We still need to paint it, get our logos and sponsors on it. We need to get it inspected, but that's going to be our main storage facility and where we're going to store Gold Rush. Speaking of Gold Rush, we are currently planning on getting Gold Rush shipped over here on September 14th, so in just over 2 weeks, less than 3 weeks from now. In case you don't know what Gold Rush is the solar car that UC Berkeley is donating to our team. So that will be a great learning opportunity for our team to actually have our hands on our very own solar car before ours is actually built. Fundraising, we did do a little bit of fundraising over the summer. We raised about $1,500 primarily from Walmart. We have some things that we have to follow up with this summer or this fall. We need to renew sponsorships that we got last year, like from Wodelity and Novec and a few other companies. So that's going to be one of the focuses for the fundraising team. And also we've been working on our RSO application. As you all know, the RSO allows you to apply for up to $6,000. We did this last year and got a bunch of stuff like our motors and solar cells and whatnot. We want to submit this application as soon as possible. So we've already started putting together a wish list. If you all have anything that you want us to buy, any of the previous members that know we need something to move forward with, let me know and we will add that to our list. We know we're buying chassis metal as soon as possible. We know we're buying mechanical components. Stuff that was on the RSO sheet last year that we weren't able to purchase in time. So just talking about some goals, reiterating some things I mentioned in that video that you all watched. We have two main objectives for this fall. The first one is to build Hypernova 1's chassis, and Hypernova 1 is obviously the car that we've been working on. We really want to get that metal frame of the car done as soon as possible. And one of the ways that we're going to do that is we're just going to continue on with the aero shell and frame design that the mechanical team already has. So being realistic, it's not looking like that there's going to be any solar car competitions for at least the next year or next year and a half. So we're at kind of the point where it's just like, let's just build our very first car, even if it's not quite up to regs or quite up to specs. So we're going to basically take the chassis that we've been spending, frankly, years working on, and we're just going to build it. It's close enough to regulation spec. It might need a little bit more simulation testing, but those are issues that we can fix down the line if we ever want to race this car in an actual race. We're just going to take what we have and build it. We're ready for that. The second thing we're going to do is get Gold Rush shipped and working. We've put aside some money so we could get Gold Rush shipped as soon as possible. And then as soon as it's here, we're going to take it apart, figure out everything about it, and get it working. It'll be a great hands-on project that members could work on either individually or in small groups to just learn about solar cars. So those are the two main objectives we have for this fall. Again, for in-person meetings, they are not required. They are just optional. So I know, we have a large diversity on the team. We have some people who really want to get back into the shop and work on the solar car, and we have other people who are concerned about their safety and well-being, and both are perfectly understandable. So we're trying to allow both options as much as possible. So if you are comfortable with working in person, the only thing you really have to do is make sure you abide by all of the protocols in the in-person team meeting agreement. You print that out, sign it, and deliver it to me or your lead. If you scan the QR code in the upper right, you can get access to that, that worksheet. So just get that done as soon as possible. And it's nothing new. Just keep in mind of all the regular things that you do if you went to an in-person meeting. Got to wear your face mask, got to bring your own PPE, got to wipe down equipment after you use it. Just use your common sense, and also abide by any Mason protocols that they put on there. Virtual meetings. So these are obviously available for any people who do not feel comfortable coming to in-person meetings. or maybe in-person meetings are full and you're not allowed to come to that in-person meeting, so you have to visit virtually, or maybe you're just not in the area and you're physically unable to come to an in-person meeting. We're still trying to figure out how all of those virtual meetings will work. We know that every sub-team meeting that we have will have a virtual component to it. That's going to be a lot easier for, say, the software members who can, easily meet virtually and work virtually, and it's going to be harder for, obviously, like the mechanical members. We are allowed to do anything from our homes or dorms, except for, obviously, large-scale mechanical work like welding. We have to go into the build space to do that, and also anything that relies on high power for the electric teams. So like working on the main solar car motors, working on the main batteries, anything that has to do with high power has to be done in the build space as well. Anything else, say like CAN bus, for example, the team who's working from that, we can give you the supplies you need to continue working on that from home. So this is going to be a case-by-case basis, and I really need everyone to step up to try and figure out what's the best way you can contribute to the team, especially if you're meeting in a virtual environment, because it's not going to be easy. But I'm certain we could find ways to work through this and make it happen. So leadership is obviously a topic that interests a lot of people. So just going over some leadership details. As of right now, all of the leadership positions are currently wiped clean, other than president. And if you guys want a new president, let me know. I'm happy to open applications up for that if anyone thinks that they could be a better president than me. If so, we're going to fight, but for the sake of the team, we could do that. So leadership applications will open up next Monday, and they will close next Friday. So you will only have 1 week to get those applications in. We are really looking for people who could step up and put in the extra effort to make the team successful this fall. It's not as much about knowledge as it is about your work ethic and your drive. I don't care if you are a senior in electrical engineering. If you're not going to show up to meetings, then you're not going to be electrical lead, for example. We really need people who can put in that extra amount of effort to make the team successful this fall. We're really focusing on software and electrical leads because we currently do not have very many of those. I know we have a lot of mechanical leads from previous years returning, and if you were a previous lead, that obviously gives you a step up in the leadership application, but we're still going to have to look at all of the leads again, just to kind of make it fair, even for present positions. But yeah, if you're a software or electrical member, we really, really need more leads in those positions. So consider applying for those if you're interested. We will also have a brand new president position, a brand new vice president position opening up. We've never had a vice president before, but the fact of the matter is that I am a senior here at George Mason. I will be graduating next spring. So in order for the solar car team to continue after I am no longer here, we will need someone to take over. So the vice president this year, whoever that is, will automatically become president for 2021 and 2022. It's not, I don't know how to word this, other than the solar car team and being president of the solar car team is more effort than anything you will do at your time here at George Mason. So, I know some people might be excited being like, oh man, I'd love to be vice president. If you're not willing to put in more work into the solar car team than you are to your classes and any other club combined, then it's not for you. There is a lot to running this team. Also, if you want to run the nonprofit as well, there's legal liabilities you have there. It's a whole 6 to 8 hour a day job. So if you're interested in that, we'll be opening up the application. I'm only probably going to let sophomores or juniors apply to that position. Obviously, if you're a senior, you can't. If you're a freshman, you don't have enough experience with how the team runs in order to get it. So I'm really trying to keep it focused, preferably sophomores. We'll have the best going at this. So yeah, that's basically everything that we had to cover for the meeting. We're going to move on to the Zoom discussions. So if you are an official member of the Solar Car team, please click on the Zoom link that I dropped in the Slack. As soon as this call ends, we will be continuing our discussion in Zoom, and we're going to break out into breakout rooms. And there's two main things I want you guys to discuss. We're going to spend about 20-25 minutes in breakout rooms. And I really want you all to discuss individually with the few members in your breakout room, what are your personal goals for the fall semester? What do you want to see the team accomplish? And then once you know what you really want to focus on and what your teammates want to focus on, I want you to then take the next step of, okay, what do I have to do to accomplish that goal? What are my next steps? Don't think about the team's next steps. Think about what your next steps are in order to accomplish those goals. And I really want some deep discussion on allowing everyone to figure out what is their path forward. Me and some of the other team captains will be jumping around between rooms, helping to facilitate that discussion. Here's a great quote: "Ask not what Hypernova can do for you, ask what you could do for Hypernova." So keep that in mind during the Zoom discussions today. All right, so that's the end of everything I have for the presentation. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to end the stream here on YouTube, and we're going to all move over to Zoom. So make sure you're on the Zoom. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll see you all next week.